more match is all that remains for the fall 2024 semester here at Shenandoah University. Our Rocket League team prepares themselves to take the stage for a shot at the third place in their NECC division. We got some great Rocket League to come our way. We got to see their best of 7 last week, and I'm glad to have you on here for one of the first times actually we're working together, but also on Rocket League, Chris.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think I was here earlier this semester with Will Jenkins once, and that's the extent of my Rocket League experience this semester. Although I do know this game, I'm not a total idiot, but but we're gonna have a great time. Yes, you said it. We've got an exciting match today and an opportunity to prove one final thing. We unfortunately fell just short of the title in our last competition against the University of Montreal. I do believe we have a bracket coming up here, and we see, a heartbreaking result from 2 weeks ago, as all of these players got a little break for Thanksgiving. But yeah, an opportunity to still come out on the podium with a win over Marywood today.
Yeah, and that particular match against Montreal, I know it was one that the players really took to heart. You go in, you see it as the 8th seed, but also a top 50 Rocket League team in the country right now. You start out ahead 2-0 and then lose the next 4 after that, and it's a difficult thing to come back from. And I know that that team, you still have this one game left today, and they're still happy with the mark that they've beaten and the opportunity to achieve a 3rd place against some incredible collegiate rosters. Rocket League in particular has been a title in collegiate esports that has continued to just grow and grow because of its simple concept, but also this massive skill ceiling that players can work towards.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch. It's such a great game just all around, and the skill ceiling seems to never be in reach, right? There's always new things being discovered at any given point, and it's a lot of fun when you have great players that can showcase exactly what can be done in this game. And this team is no exception, but we do on this roster have a bit of a different look than last week. That match against Montreal, we had Eliminathan, and we don't today.
No, today Pagani will be here for the NECC game, which is most of the matches that have happened in NECC. The main roster has been Mango with Kiazi and Pagani coming in from that academy roster, as we say. We have the pleasure of having 6 Rocket League players this season, and just because of some prior commitments on Thursdays, typically, whoever that 3rd player is going to be is subbed out accordingly, but you know them, you love them. There they are, Mango in your top corner. Kiazi's as pumped as always, and I think Pagani's just trying to put on a serious face and ignore the shenanigans happening next to him.
Yeah, you can consistently expect vibes to be pretty dang high on this team. These players are overwhelmingly energetic and cameras tilted to boot. But yeah, this team knows how to have a good time. They're consistently the loudest in the arena, and for good reason. Like for the best reasons of having fun, not just screaming at each other, not overcoming whatever. I mean, look at that man. He's ready to get into game. He knows how to have a good time, but he knows how to win too. He knows what it takes to come out as a 3rd place winner today.
Hey, and that's a champion in the making right there. He's getting his team hyped up, and that's kind of what you need, especially for a Rocket League game where you have just these short bursts of intense focus and intense play with nonstop action. You have to make sure that you're mentally in the right spot, heading ahead. And in the past for this team, that's been one of their bigger struggles, is that they start off on the wrong foot. They can get in their own heads. But now today, they're feeling good, heading against Marywood, especially since this is the 2nd time they've played them, and the last time was way back at the beginning in October.
That's crazy to think about. It's a lot can change over the course of a season, right? We know that rankings change all the time as teams tend to improve, and that can create interesting dynamics. We just saw it earlier this week, too, with Smash Bros. Our Smash team just won their NECC region against a team that they lost to earlier in the season as well. So a lot can happen over multiple months of Rocket League action, of esports action as a whole across titles, and it can certainly create interesting things. Yeah. It certainly looks like we are getting into game here soon, but I'm curious, just real quick before we get into it.
Yeah.
Bouncing back from the last competition against Montreal.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing that needs to change coming into today?
You got to come in with a positive mentality. I think that's number one. You can't allow yourselves to get in your own heads. The Hornets are a team, at least this year, that have proven that they can start off on the right foot. But the longer that this game goes, the harder time they have keeping up these consistent performances. So we might see them get off to another 2-0 start, but it's past that point, game 3, game 4, whatever lies beyond that, where we need to look at this team and how their performance can continue. While we see their opponents adapt, sometimes the Hornets can struggle to meet them at that level of adaptation. And because this is a best of 7, Chris, that endurance is only going to be tested further.
Yeah, that's a long series. We've had, I believe, one best of 7 series all year long, competing in multiple leagues here with these Rocket League squads, and it was that Montreal match.
Yep.
So this team has not been forced to endure these longer series, and you know, in that last matchup, we said that they played 6 games, right? That's inherently already longer than any series they've played. So it creates interesting dynamics, right? Rocket League is a quick game. You might not think of it as much, right? The extra best of 7 to a best of 5, but it is. I mean,
it's a lot.
The mental tax that can take on you is very real.
Yeah, and we like to see that a lot of these players do have extended experience. Mango and Kiazi both being on this varsity team for 2 years. Pagani, while he'll normally play on the academy, he also has a prior year of experience. 2 years back, he did take a bit of a break before returning to competing on Rocket League this year. And one of my favorite things that has been to come from him specifically is his synergy with Mango. There's kind of a different play style when he's in versus when we see Eliminate. Eliminate tends to be more defensive and on the back reserve and can kind of step out when needed. Where Pagani, he's at the forefront. He's going to be fighting Mango for that star position and is willing to work together, whereas Kiazi is the one that instead moves towards that back point.
Yeah, it's fun to watch Mango do what he does, right? He's obviously an incredible player and arguably, maybe inarguably, the best player on this roster, on any of the rosters. He's a lot of fun to watch, and you said it. He's flashy, and he's the more aggressive player. But normally, we are kind of used to watching Eliminathan and Kiazi, serve sort of that hybrid, almost supportive role towards him. And in any team dynamic, when you switch up that drastically and add 2 heavy hitters up front, that can really blow teams open.
It really can, but it is an adjustment of play style. I think for them, it's not too bad, but it's, again, once their opponents figure out what's going on and they change their play style, how do you adjust? Well, this concept of car, ball, net won't ever really go away.
Right.
How you're moving your players around the field, controlling boost, whether you're committing 1, maybe 2 towards the front lines, who's going to be your mid liner, what the rotations look like in terms of enivs. There's so many things that you can go on and adjust in the game of Rocket League, which is even harder to do with how fast-paced of a game that it is.
Yeah, very, very fast-paced. And something to keep in mind, too, this is a third-place match. I'm not going to sit up here and be pessimistic or anything, but Grand Finals is now out of the equation. And all of the players know that. It's, we can sit here and hang our heads, aw, darn, or we can come out here and play more Rocket League and keep competing. And that's what these players are going to do. But with that said, with only 3rd place at stake, you can kind of look to just rebound and finish the season on a good note. Yeah. Maybe keep experimenting with stuff. I'd be shocked to see a drastic playstyle change now of all time, or of all the times to do it. But, this is a bit more lighthearted scenario that this team has found themselves in compared to the rest of the season. And we'll see if that affects playstyle, affects mentality the longer this series goes on. Hard to say, but this team certainly can keep up if they put their minds to it.
It's one last hurrah, to finish off your fall semester on a strong note. And I think for the Rocket League team, they hit a lot of the expectations that they wanted to at the start of the season. And getting to this point is, you could even argue is past that. So given where this team currently stands in their division, an opportunity to finish top 3, a podium finish, but guaranteed at least in that first half, is already massive for a squad that isn't particularly known for having these SSL massive names on their roster. Shenandoah has done an excellent job at curating this next gen talent.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to watch. These guys have been around for, you said it, years now, and they've only gotten better in their time here. They've moved up divisions and official and unofficial levels of competition. This team can really hang with some of the best, but I do believe that we are maybe having some tech issues or some delays going on, but it sounds like we're going to take a break.
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
Nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway,
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
all at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the Esports Arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the Esports Arena is the Esports War Room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.
Well, thank you for taking a brief intermission with us. But the good news is we got some Rocket League that is just about ready to start. Technical issues have resolved, and we're going to start straight into game number 1. Marywood and Shenandoah University both looking for a third-place finish in their NECC division. Let's get started.
Yes, pardon the interruption, but we are here. Setbacks behind us, in-game, third place on the line, and with an opportunity to prove one more time that this team can hang with the big dogs before the season ends. 30 seconds into this game, we see a couple shots rain down, and an early one goes in for Marywood. A tough start just under 30 seconds into the game.
And look at that pass setup, too. Mango wasn't anticipating Jacob to get that far ahead, and that little bump off the front bumper from J Marsh there was perfectly based. Pagani was just slight enough behind, and that's kind of because there's only 30 seconds of the game. Each team is getting a feel for how the other plays and how that can continue on ahead. Mango, rather a slow-paced ball in the direction of the goal, will be redirected back up to Jacob. Slappa now finds with an open net, but it goes wide enough for Pagani to get some form of recovery.
Yeah, good little defensive effort there. Maybe a little bit of luck in there too with a missed shot there, but enough time to rebound, right? We settle back in. One major theme from their last competition 2 weeks ago against Montreal was these kickoffs too. We saw an aggressive opportunity there from Mango off the most recent kickoff. Not quite amount to much, but that could be something to keep an eye out for the longer this series goes on.
Yeah, I think we had 4 kickoff goals.
Something crazy like
the
that.
first 3 games or something. Like, it wasn't even the whole series. It was kind of nuts. Didn't get that so far yet today, but that's not the end of the world. Sometimes having a big old kickoff goal like that can screw up with the traditional game plans. We seem to be getting into some more mediated forms of gameplay. J Marsh again looking for Jacob. I like how the Hornets are starting to take more initiation when it comes to blocking off these passing lanes Marywood have been setting up so far.
Yeah, doing a great job so far and really keeping the ball on the perimeters of the field, right? Nobody's really had an opportunity to get to the center of the field or get it in front of the net. It's been bouncing from corner to corner to corner to corner, and so far, not much to come of it from either direction, and this, no exception, right? We finally see the ball make a move. Pagani with a slight whiff there, but leaving Kiazi to get a big boom and send it to another corner. We find ourselves right back where we started.
Kiazi was a good centered play from Mango. Jacob was too close to that ball for any quality touch to come through. Kiazi needed a good play the corner here. Wanted to go for the flipper set, but only got a little bit of a tip up and slow enough for Slappa to get Marywood a little bit more possession on the board. Jake now, number slap on the back corner. A little Kiazi to get in the thick of things. Ball dancing dangerously in front of the SU nut. Eventually, it'll be Pagani. A clear bounce over the defense. Perhaps an opportunity for SU. It's only Jacob at the last second to prevent anything from happening.
Yeah, great effort there. I mean, talk about a tempo change, though, from that really early goal for Marywood to now a pretty slow defensive showing, right, from both of these squads. Able to really clamp down their goals, not letting anything sneak through just yet. Now, 2 minutes left on the clock. No more goals since the first 30 seconds. We'll see if Mango, with an opportunity now, moving up with the ball on his own, can team follow up. They won't find anything there.
Yeah, I can see the vision, the superstar play that Mango's become known for all this season. And there's another setup for Kiazi, but it's just off the post there. Oh, a wonderful vision that the Hornets set up, and Pagani wants to keep the play alive. Hunting for Mango again in the striker position, and that one will find home.
Yeah, gorgeous little shot here. I do want to watch this back. A nice little lob from Pagani, and Mango there to capitalize. I mean, a clean angle there, an awkward touch, not an easy shot at all, but Mango is the player to go to finish it off. Well done there.
We shouted out the teamwork between Pagani and Mango at the beginning of this series, but we're kind of seeing the same thing, where Mango is he's the one that has been the most consistent this season, so you want him to have the opportunities to strike that ball home. Kiazi and Pagani will spend spoon-feeding him those, and eventually they'll get the one to even up that score line here. Marywood need to find a way to take up that pace back into their control, because the longer that this first 5 minutes has gone by, we'll notice the Hornets gain confidence of themselves.
Yeah, it's exciting to see, right? It's, again, another pretty noticeable tempo change, right? We saw a good 90 seconds there of not a ton of shots coming down, a lot of battles over possession, into a couple good shots from Shenandoah, one of them finding the net and tying the game up. Now, with a minute left, we'll see if they're able to maintain that momentum. Ball goes back into the corner. Pagani unable to get it out of the corner, but here comes Mango.
A rather risky spot. All the Shenandoah players are a bit cluttered towards that left side of the midfield, but eventually they'll spread out, get more boost, get more control. J Marsh, a little bit of bump off the crossbar, but an awkward landing on the side means no follow-up for the time being. Double commit from the Hornets defense, a window of opportunity for Marywood, but they ran out of boost. They're going to have to take a soft reset and try to maintain this midfield line. They're going to run short on time for this defense. Had the lead for most of the game so far, but Pagani has been working overtime to get this ball past the defenders, past two, but it's the third and Jacob. They'll keep the score even.
Yeah, heck of an effort there from Kiazi. Can't quite land it, but that was a really interesting play. That opportunity from Marywood that they couldn't capitalize on because they didn't have boost. I was wondering if Shenandoah didn't even really notice. It almost looked like they had an opportunity for a good 20 seconds there. Nobody on Marywood had any boost, but now clock ticking down to 10 seconds. Tie game. If anybody's able to score here, they'll walk away, but it's looking like we might be going into an overtime as the ball makes its way back to midfield. It will pop up into the air. An opportunity for potentially Shenandoah to go in here, and Pagani finds its way home. Way to take game one. Shenandoah scores with zeros on the clock.
Immaculate ball control from Mango. He drops that straight down waterfall to Pagani to get the 1 point as the last second goal. Chris, this isn't something that happens often. We heard the players explode behind us. They were excited from that shot. That is a great way to start off this series.
Yeah, great vision from the team, too. I mean, with zeros on the clock, right? The clock was at 2 or maybe 1 with the ball on still their own side of the field. So to have the awareness and say, hey, we've got a shot to go put this away now, and then go down and actually execute, that's very exciting stuff. If you're thinking the length of this series, that coordination this early on could be scary.
Mango's feeling himself right now, too. Not to mention that, and we're seeing Pagani and Kiazi win out a lot of these 50s. They have greater corner control, and in those instances, you're going to get better centers to somebody like Mango, who's just hunting for those points. And, I mean, the Hornets, not only from a score standpoint, of course, you're going to come out on top, but just from, think about the confidence boost that getting a goal of that fashion to end game number 1, what that's going to do to you going on ahead.
Yeah, and think the other direction, too. Marywood probably started with just as much confidence scoring in the first 30 seconds, but then to really not find any offensive success for the next 4 minutes and 30 seconds is probably not a great feeling, but one game is one game, right? This is a longer series than usual. We talked about how our team is not exactly familiar with this length of a series. I'm sure Marywood is probably feeling the same thing. So nothing to get ahead of ourselves just yet, but We settle back in for game number 2, and Shenandoah with an opportunity to run away if they can pick up another win here in game number 2.
Yeah, the last time these two teams met, reminder, it was a 3-1 win in favor of Marywood, but that was well over 2 months ago. At this point, Chris, think about the changes, the improvements that both teams have made since then, and we're seeing the majority of team play. No one's going for kind of these star-studded things. It's been finding these passing lanes so far, and Marywood, while they had it a lot in the first half of game 1, it was the Hornets who started to run away in that regard towards the tail end, giving them that narrow lead. Marywood playing in the blue half of the pitch, but we're not able to get much control. An awkward bounce from J Marsh off the pitch, and that is not the way you want to start if you're Marywood.
Wow, yeah, talk about a momentum shift. I mean, that is such a tough break, and an awkward pinch there off the wall, and just not able to make the save in time. Mango gets credit for it, but Shenandoah takes the lead early in game number 2.
And that's just one of those you just gotta shake it off. It hurts. It really hurts, and there's not much you can do about it. There's a chance to fire back, but my goodness, Kiazi pulled out the cape and said, nah, I'm gonna be the hero for today. We can make sure Mango some more opportunities on this offense. It's another weird bounce, a slow one in front of the goal line. This time Slappa, though, is making sure no more of these silly goals are going to happen.
Yeah, wow, this has been a significantly crazier game than game number 1. We saw a lot more control, a lot more defensive control, and just slower gameplay in game number 1. There have been, I don't even know if I would call it more aggressive gameplay as much as it is just sort of fluky happenings that are putting the ball in aggressive positions, and so far 1 goal to come of it. But now, minute 30 into this game, we see the tempo start to slow down. Both of these teams settle in a little bit more to their rhythms. Boost pretty well managed both sides. Kiazi a little low on Shenandoah, but Shenandoah with an offensive attempt here, and they get the ball to the corner, but not able to capitalize there.
Slowing down, not as cray-cray as we were when we started, which is pretty good. Honestly, you could see the panic in every player's eyes at that point, so this more kind of tempoed, readable style of play is a comfort zone for both of these teams. Mango, though, make sure this ball stays in the skies. A nice connection with Pagani, but the touch doesn't redirect as well as he thought. Kiazi, read on the bounce, a little bit high. Mango follow-up, no. J-March will win the race to that one, and Jacob has been playing this backboard well for Marywood, denying any more of these center opportunities where we've seen Mango lurking for so long.
Yeah, ball remains on Marywood's half, though, for quite a while here. Unable to really get much offensive momentum just yet. Pagani with a shot onto the goal, nothing there. A well-timed save from Slappa once again, playing the defensive front for Marywood as they finally find the ball on the other side of the field. Nothing just yet, though. Short-lived effort as now Slappa once again forced to try to make a play to keep the ball on the right side of the field, but it will not matter. Kiazi finding a window, catching the defenders on the wrong side of the field. Molly, what did you just hear there?
Bye-bye! You guys can see it on your screens. Thank you. Thank you to our director for giving us that wonderful piece of information. Oh, that was glorious. Oh, man.
Totally intentional, I'm sure. And now, one more. Rack 'em up. Kiazi finds another one. Player cams showing how much fun this team can have. We know that all too well, and Mango specifically behind us making his presence known in this building full of about 10 people. But nonetheless, a lot of momentum, a lot of energy from this team, finding themselves up 3-0. 2 minutes still to go, but man, this is a very, very strong start, both this game and the series for Shenandoah.
I kind of feel bad for Kiazi. We were so focused on Griffin's reaction earlier that we didn't get to credit that he just scored 2 goals that were just kind of off the rip there. And I think Kiazi, out of every player on this team, is the one that can shine the most. But he has to make sure he's his own worst enemy, essentially. So when we see him get as confident as he is now, great things are sure to happen.
Absolutely. We do see the ball, again, taking these massive booms from one side of the field to the other, but neither team able to capitalize on those plays. So we'll see if those continue. Pagani with an opportunity to go up high. Mango sort of contests his own teammate there. That was interesting. But Kiazi now at midfield looking for an opportunity. This could come off the corner. Not just yet. He'll rotate back on defense. We slow down again. Minute left on the clock. 3 goals in that amount of time would be a reach.
Yeah, at this point in the game, Marywood are pretty close to being out of game number 2. The Hornets have a significant lead and a significant outmatch in terms of pace and ball control. And when this happens, you really just need to reset. Marywood did such a great job at the start of game number 1, finding each other on the pitch, taking that initiative and making sure that the Hornets were on the back foot at the start. But once that was identified midway through game 1, the Hornets are like, why are we just letting them have the ball control? Marywood haven't been able to regain that sense. Whether it's going to be in terms of physicality, aggression, or demolitions like we saw right there, Marywood need a way to buy themselves back into this series, because with just 30 seconds remaining here, game 2 is looking all red and blue.
Absolutely, and I was just thinking that too. Such a fundamental, such a big part of high-level Rocket League are demos and how you can capitalize on them, and that's something we haven't really been seeing either direction until this last 60 seconds. We saw like 3 or 4 demos, so it'll be an interesting trend to keep an eye on into future games. But as we see the clock tick down to zeros, game 2 goes Shenandoah's way, and now in a best-of-7 series, all of a sudden 2 games down is not where you want to be.
No, but not to jinx us, Chris. This is also where we ended up last time. Last week we said this. We're like, wait a minute. This team looks really good. We lost to them before. We're up 2-0. This is going to be great. They will proceed to lose the next 4.
You're right.
I got to bring up the facts. I'm so sorry to do it.
You're absolutely
and I
right.
think this is good because we also see this team, they're calm, right? They're not getting overconfident. They're still respecting their opponents in the same way. Even if that was a shutout, they're keeping themselves level-headed. And that is going to be one of the most important things that you can do, especially when you have built up such a good lead already.
Absolutely, yeah. These players were there for it. I mean, I guess with the exception of technically Pagani, and I think he was still in the arena, watched it happen, right? Like, they lived through that Montreal match, and they all came out of it very defeated. Like, it clearly affected all of them, and I'm sure none of them want to experience that again, right? We regret to bring it up here on the desk, but the truth is, the players know it just as much as we all do. They know that this is absolutely a pretty pivotal moment in the length of this series. You cannot get complacent with a lead like this, and moving into map number 3, we'll see if they're able to maintain that momentum or if Marywood will find a way to change up their playstyle and come out with a win.
Yeah, and if you're Marywood at this point, the Shenandoah is moving like clockwork. You got to find a way to take a piece out of that puzzle and make sure they can't continue to find those connections. One way to do that is demos, but instead it's been the Hornets who've been more on that physical end. It's a massive swing around the other side. Slappa just pulled off an incredible save off the backboard. Devin didn't technically register as one for the game. Mango for sure had a direction to drive that one home. So Marywood dodging the bullet early. We'll see if what they can manage to do with this ball being in this blue half of the pitch, since it's mainly lived on that orange side.
Yeah, these teams definitely know how to keep the first 30 seconds interesting.
Oh, yeah.
But and wow, with another opportunity to keep it interesting. Slappa not letting the score become interesting just yet. But we talked a little bit at the end of last game about demos too, and to start this game, one demo for both teams, both directions. I mean, that's real, right?
Really?
Neither team able to score off of them, but that's where these really aggressive plays come from. And if they're able to keep finding these demos, I don't know. I mean, that could be their way back into this.
We have seen more from Marywood too, not necessarily in the demos, but even just these last couple of touches that they're taking these 50s, maybe having 2 players commit towards the ball, one of which to stop whichever Shenandoah player is going to contest, and that's already worked out so much better. Jacob with a couple back-to-back shots there, neither of which getting much direction, but it's the flip around at light speed. The Hornets turn something that looked desperate into a great goal.
Okay, so this is not a rhythm that you want to find yourself falling into. Shenandoah finding a lead once again. You have to think back now. The only goal that Marywood has scored was the very first goal of this series. Now, Shenandoah has scored, I believe, 6 unanswered over 3 games. Not a great pattern, right, if you're looking to find your way back in. But on the other hand, right, Shenandoah found themselves in the exact opposite situation. We just talked about it between the games. This is exactly what Shenandoah needs to be doing to maintain their momentum, not let their brains get in their minds, and keep winning, keep the pedal to the metal, and keep winning these games.
Yeah, this is kind of the most important thing, is for the Hornets to play their own game, to not kind of let this panic set in of this faster pace that Marywood have attempted to force so far, but it's actually turned out to more harm and good. Instances like that, Chris, where that ball just sneaks past whoever's supposed to be holding down that midfield, it gets scary, and it leaves you open for errors such as that one, if I'm not mistaken, that might have been a bit of an own goal there.
Yeah, I could not actually tell either. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
double
tough.
assist on that one.
A double assist is crazy. Yeah, I mean, a tough break, but okay, you have to take a step back, look at the grand scheme of that play. If you're Shenandoah, that's not the end of the world. If they're going to beat us and their way of beating us is making us beat ourselves, you can control that. They can clean that up. I'm sure that they'd feel a little bit better, but a great play there from Slappa, scoring one of his own, a little solo play from midfield. Gorgeous little goal here.
Yeah, it worked. Oh my gosh, just broke Kiazi's ankles there too. Slappa stole it off the hood of Mango and styled on Kiazi. That goal you need to be a bit more worried about, because that was a 1v2 that you ended up losing. You can't. Now this is where you're like, all right, take a breather. It's fine. It's still a 1-goal game. You've been in this position before. But in the case of Marywood, this is exactly the way that you need to buy yourself back into this game, to this series, and show, hey, we're still competitive here, even if Game 2 was a shutout.
Yeah, you have to think about, wow, great shot there from Slappa once again, but you have to think about, bringing the energy back to your team as well. Slappa I mean, it almost felt like they were listening to us, right? That we started to sort of doubt that first goal. Okay, that was fluky. And Slappa said, all right, then watch this, right? We are still good enough to hang with Shenandoah, right? Winning 2 straight so far, and Shenandoah needs to not let this affect them too much. They need to be able to bounce out of this, and so far, they've been doing a good job of maintaining possession, not giving up too much after that last goal.
I know, we slowed down. Marywood are a team that seems to like to take advantage of this pace going extremely fast, where your time to react is down, and Shenandoah, you need to be proactive, and that's something historically that they have not preferred to do. They'd like to play a more defensive game and let that ball come to them, but when Slappa does things like that to just keep this pace as high as it has been, that's where it becomes a bit more of an issue. Pagani, though, big bang downfield, wonderful little touch from Slappa. If there's been an MVP for Marywood so far, it's got to be that player.
No, absolutely, and for so many reasons too, beyond just mechanical performance, right? This player has been the showstopper so far in terms of keeping Marywood in this series, keeping their team's mentalities in, but not for long. Pagani with the tying goal. Once again, we find ourselves 60 seconds left on the clock and a tie game. Last time we were here, Shenandoah came out on top. Marywood is going to have to look to break the cycle now.
Yeah, a bit of miscommunication on the defensive side, and it was a completely free centered ball for the Hornets. And you even saw Mango's reaction a little bit. He's like, don't get excited, don't freak out. We are still even. We still have 60 seconds left of this game to play. That's how important he knows this mental game is for this team. Pagani, a bit of a styling on the corner as Jacob to stuff it against that goal post. But Kiazi wants to get this play alive. A bit of a double commit here, leaving it all up to Pagani. A 2v1, but it'll be J Marsh and Jacob to escort it on home. Marywood regain the lead.
Yeah, tough break there for SU, catching Pagani just a little out of position, forcing him to try to jump back to make that save, and too little too late. Marywood able to just hold the hand of the ball all the way to the net. Now, 45 seconds is still a lot of time. That was a effectively 15-second goal, and now Pagani starts with a strong shot on the goal. All right, Shenandoah needs to score quickly here, and they know it.
Pedal to the metal for the Hornets. You got to make something happen. It's a demo. At least you thwart Marywood. Trying to push any further on this offensive side. Kiazi, it was a centered ball, goes a little wide, works out for Pagani though, hits it off the bar, but Jacob has been an incredible defensive player for Marywood at redirecting this ball back off to the corners, making sure Mango can't sneak his way in, that we've seen him do in games number 1 and 2. 7 seconds remaining. Let's see, does Shenandoah have this last second goal in them? Mango with the carry, J Marsh denying that touch. Pagani, last ditch effort to keep it alive, but no, it'll hit the ground just as the timer expired. Marywood are on the board.
Yeah, way to stick with it if you are Marywood, right? That was a tough start to the series, letting up 6 unanswered points, but storming back in this one, and still a bit of a close game, right? I mean, not a bit of a close game, a 1-goal game, right? That was not the commanding loss that we saw 2 weeks ago that really spiraled into something so much worse for Shenandoah, but a scary trend, right? And a trend that we have to acknowledge.
And it unfortunately started in this game with that own goal. I think from that point, there's like, we messed up. And then and it's really hard from a competitor. You and I have both competed on esports teams, and you know that if you're the one who had an error happen, like even if there's nothing you can do about it in this immediate moment, it's still sitting there in the back of your mind. And I really think that's what ended up happening. This team, again, turns into their own worst enemies. They very well have the ability to compete with Marywood. And now that this has really shown that, hey, if you take too many risks here, if you get over ahead of yourselves, Marywood can very well buy their way back into the series. But Chris, it is far from over. We still have at least 2 more games to be played.
Exactly, yeah. At the end of the day, this is still not a best of 5. We've said it a couple times already. This is a best of 7. This is a long series of Rocket League. So much time for things to change. We talked about a team's ability to change over a season. A team's ability to change over a 7-game series is enough to be jarring. So both of these teams with a pretty pivotal moment, a fork in the road. Will the series claw back for Marywood, or can Shenandoah stay out of the divot that they have just put themselves in, still with a 1-game lead though, and find their way to 2 more wins?
A super physical start here from the Hornets. 2 demolitions, and we saw a couple key bumps out of Pagani as well. And I think they can tell not only are they're angry, they got to take, someone's got to be the punching bag here. And unfortunately, it's been Jacob who's been beaten around for the most part. But that's what you need to do. With both these rosters and being very focused on their team play, you got to take someone out of the equation. And what better way to do it than to physically remove them from that position?
Yeah, demos create very awkward situations, and they can really, for high-level teams, create points and wins. But we see
that's a triple commit.
Yeah, a slight miscommunication, triple commit from SU, and now finding themselves one down 1-0 once again, but plenty of time still left.
Now it's J Marsh, a very high early solo carry, and he goes no problem meeting that. Plenty of time to react to get his car in position. Jacob, though, takes over to Marywood's defensive corner. A bit of a hit out. Kiazi wants to try to play off of this left side. He's been kind of the corner man for a lot of these teams. Mango will come up in the assist. It's been this 2v3 defense that Shenandoah have opted to play, leaving just Pagani on that midfield line, which has worked out in elongated sense of possession, but Marywood is still able to break through that if they have these big booming passes like they've been known for.
Yeah, these have been the story of this series, right? The big booms from one end of the field to the other have gone both directions, and I feel like we haven't seen many opportunities to capitalize off of them, but they are certainly coming out. These teams certainly like that play, but nothing to see yet as Kiazi, with little to no boost left, does center the ball with an opportunity, but Pagani unable to get there with the right angle. Now Shenandoah forced to retreat and find their way back to their side of the field.
That wasn't even Pagani's fault, too.
No,
Jacob was right there along with him. Jacob is just the defense for Marywood right now. Even if they haven't scored any goals, has been putting in so much work, denying Shenandoah this offensive kind of aggression that they've wanted to play. Like, even there, gets right in front of Kiazi. There's no passing lane open, and it makes Mango have to retreat for more boosts and attempt a center of their own. But look who's there again!
Yeah, defense wins championships, man.
Yeah.
That's a phrase for a reason. It's a, wow, Slappa finds an open net. A big miscommunication there from SU as the ball bought so much time in front of their net. Kiazi just missing it outright, and Slappa there to take advantage. A 2-goal deficit now for SU.
You're starting to get a little worried. I can see it. I can see it, and I think that the players can feel it too. And you're down 0-2. This is the biggest deficit that you've had so far in the day, and they're so focused on the offense, Chris, that it's these defensive points that are coming back to kill them. Even if this one was just off the rip, Kiazi got locked up in a corner by another defender. Mango had already committed forwards to get the boost, and it was wide open. We got to slap a Band-Aid on this one fast.
Yeah, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. How much time did we say when Shenandoah was up 3-0 in game number 2? We said with about a minute left that it was next to impossible. Well, let's make it 4-0. Jacob with a long shot there. I didn't even really see what happened. Yeah, just a missed defensive play there, and 4-0 now. you might just have to start thinking to the future.
Yeah, you just still have a little bit less than half the game left,
Yeah.
but at the same time, 3 of these goals just happened in less than 30 seconds. You gotta chill out. I know that it sounds incredibly difficult to do in the moment, but this team needs to slow down and play their own game, because it's right now, it's Marywood who's driving the bus and Shenandoah who's getting dragged behind it. And a stark contrast from what games 2 and 3 held so far within this game. And I want to see more of that even back and forth that these two teams are pushing each other towards, and that is the way to do it. A beautiful pinch off the top ropes for Kiazi to receive.
Yeah, okay, you got to start taking this one step at a time now. If you're SU, right, you are in a deficit, but you'd like to see the team play as if each point is 0-0, right? What are you trying to do? Prevent them from scoring, take whatever you can learn from this and apply it to the future. At the same time, find whatever offensive successes you can, write it down, and apply it to the future. So, we see a big goal there, which might not amount to enough in this game, but could still be a big moment for this team as they look to adapt in the length of this series.
Yeah. Still more game to be played, and the lead has been shortened just slightly. Even if this isn't turned into a win, Kiazi is going to do his best. The angling, what kind of geometry was that? I'm in stats class with this guy. I know numbers aren't his favorite thing, but apparently he likes geometry because that was such a pretty angle.
Yeah, I've never been an angles guy. I've never been a geometry guy either, but I do want to point out, behind us, the team is getting loud again. We are up here, maybe writing them off a little bit too early, because I did just hear Mango behind us say, do not give up on me. They are here to play. They are not out of this game, and that's very true. Oh, man, a very tough miss from Kiazi. You'd love to have that one back, but shake it off. A demo the other direction. An opportunity there. Jacob there to make the stop. A little 50-50 ball, and now minute ticking down on the clock. 2 goals needed to at least force overtime if SU wants to stay in this game.
And even right now, I can hear them. I can hear them coming. I can hear them starting to talk, where there's no more this dead silence. And this is such an important thing. Mango is the captain. Mango is the leader of this team for a reason, because he's the one that will bring them back from points where you're down 0-4, and it looks dark, and it looks grim, and it's hard to come back. Even if 2 goals in the next 30 seconds aren't likely to happen, you've shown that you can score, and you are not out of this series, and Mango will be the one to take it to his own hands, carry most of the way downfield. The lack of boost towards the center means that this ball just kind of dances around awkwardly for a bit of time.
Yeah, man, this defensive presence has been stalwart from Marywood. Jacob specifically making play after play. We were just highlighting him not too long ago, and again, Mango with an opportunity to go the length of the field on his own, and who's the one to stuff out the play? It's Jacob. So the ball will find its way to the ground. 0s on the clock. Game number 4 goes Marywood's way. We have a tied series, but Shenandoah getting some momentum there at the end, taking what they can, and 2-2, even state.
And here's the thing. We don't want to count them out, and I don't think that they are out. This is different, especially from last week. I think particularly ending on a good note of having those 2 goals and 2 really good goals at that. It wasn't just like an awkward pinch and it felt random. It was purposeful, and it just did some insane things. We like to see that, and those are kind of the plays that the Hornets need to be leaning back upon. It's a testament towards their skill, and we're about that midway point through the series. We're tied up. We've played 4 games, maximum of 3 more. Like, you can see them, headsets are off. They're trying to recenter themselves, listen to their coach, or they're listening to their coach right now. I had to turn around behind me because I didn't remember that he was here, and preparing themselves for what is ahead. This series is very contestable, and honestly, Chris, it's hard to say who's going to come out on top.
No, yeah, only time will tell. That's why we played the game, right? We can sit here and speculate all we want before it happens, but at the end of the day, none of that matters until they go and play the game. So, doesn't matter how much of a favorite you are. If any of you follow traditional sports, I know that all too well. 20-point favorite does not matter. That's why we play the game. So, anyway, that aside, right, we do You're right, though. It's exciting to see deliberate, intentional plays out of Shenandoah, and you have to think, too, like that last shot from Kiazi going just a little high, the play was there, right? Even if the goal or the ball didn't go in last game, that's still a 3rd successful offensive play that just didn't result in points. So shake it all off. Game number 5 underway. This is not a 5-game series, though, right?
No.
This is a long series for these players already, but 2 more wins still required for either one of these squads to walk out as a 3rd-place winner.
Turn a best of 7 into a best of 3 for the remaining time of this game. And we've made it through those first 30 seconds where everyone just plays like they took a couple shots of caffeine. So now that we're simmering down a little bit, but not quite. Jacob with a bullet sliding across the ground straight past the grasp of both defenders there. Marywood will find a way to thread the needle.
Yeah, gorgeous little setup there from Slappa, and it might have gone in without the help of Jacob. A nice corner shot there, but Jacob there to secure it. An early goal for Marywood, and early goals have been a common theme in this game. We tend to slow down a little bit after those, so we'll see if Shenandoah is able to break that trend once again, because patterns are noticeable in this series, and it's going to come down to which team can make the adjustment, make the play to get out of their own patterns.
Yeah, Shenandoah have been a second-half team for most of these games. Marywood will start off in the lead with the exception of game number 2. So now that we have that kind of pattern still fitting, we got to see the Hornets come alive quicker. And even if it's on a defensive point, that's okay. You said defense wins games. Kiazi clearly heard you.
Yeah, great rotation there. Great awareness from the squad. The SU guys asserting themselves, saying, all right, we are back in our rhythm. We know our roles, our rotations, we are okay. Let's settle in, find some offensive success now on the other side of the field. We see Kiazi trying to bounce it off the side, get a little bit of downfield threat, but not able to get it, as now Marywood does find their way right back in front of the goal, but not close enough, as now the ball will make its way the other direction. Can Shenandoah capitalize? A great little 50-50 there from Slappa, and now he gains control. Center ball, a lot of chaos here, but Shenandoah still maintaining the ball nonetheless.
Yeah, his offensive rotations have looked better. There was a lot of cluttering in the first half of game number 4, which inevitably led to their downfall so early. So seeing these players spread out more over the field, you're not leaving the back door open as much. That there's not these big scary panic moments like, oh no, who has the ball? Because you each have your bases covered. It's a more calm, collected style of play. Pagani, though, off the crossbar, great attempt at defending that backboard. I believe it was Kiazi or Mango that was up there to get it, but Marywood just one step ahead, setting another centered ball, and it's Jacob to fly in and drive it home.
And yeah, Shenandoah is falling behind once again. Jacob there to capitalize off of a miscue once more. Pagani and Mango double committing there, neither one able to get the touch needed to bail out the ball in that one. 2 minutes, 27 seconds, still plenty of time, right? This time last game, Shenandoah was down 3 or 4 to 0. So improvements are improvements, but you'd certainly like to find the ball in the other team's net at some point here soon.
Yeah, I think step number 1 is going to make sure Jacob is just not in the equation, or Mango can just style on 2 players and get a beautiful touch to get Shenandoah on the board.
Wow, yeah, great little lob here from Kiazi to just get it downfield, and Mango says, all right, I'll do the rest. Going up front right over your head. An impressive play there from Mango to claw back now. That was a quick score, and that's important because time matters when you're behind.
Yeah. And what we've seen from Marywood so far. Jacob's decided, I'm sick of playing defense. Let me get in there and score some goals. Has gotten 3 of the last 3 that Marywood have had, and doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. Looking at that last shot. Mango, though, just kind of shoved Slappa back on down to the ground. Kiazi prevents Jacob from a defense, but Mango is on the path of reset. It's Pagani instead who will step on up. Team play for the Hornets, not stepping down.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all 3 players on SU touched the ball in succession before that one went in. So great stuff there, very deliberate, exciting stuff if you are a Shenandoah fan, right? That's what you need to see. Coordination, clean team play on offense. That's what's been missing so far, and we see the success coming now as, wow, Jacob tries to respond on his own and had an opportunity, had a shot at it, but just a little too high, and Shenandoah comes out unscathed.
Yeah, Jacob is hunting for these opportunities, and Mango and the rest of Shenandoah has done a better job at marking them and making sure that they don't get as set up as we've seen them do so in the past, and forces a more defensive point of play. Kiazi, most recent to do that, slap on Pagani, vying for the ball in that corner, but because two of Marywood's players were in that direction, at least Mango a bit more open. J Marsh, though, bit of a demolition, so outmatch on the offense, but Kiazi fakes the touch entirely and made Marywood flinch.
Man, look at the cameras on the left side of your screen. Mango hyping up the team. Kiazi with a great resurgence here. I mean, after the missed goal at the end of last game, I'm sure was in his head just a little bit, but that's what we need. A great play there right over top of the defender, putting it in the net. A great execution there from Kiazi and SU as a whole, taking the lead in this one with a minute left. Opportunity once again. Scary ball, but nothing just yet. 50 seconds left on the clock. Marywood looking to try to tie it up, maybe force overtime if they're able, but now the ball has made its little home in Marywood's side of the field.
Ooh, Kiazi! Bit of a waterfall. Slap has to commit. All three players in Marywood are corralled in their own net, afraid of that lead falling further into the Hornets' hands, but it might just do so. Mango off the corner. A lucky bounce to keep the score at 1 point differential. Now, vying for control in the blue side. Marywood know they need this one to tie it up and take it to overtime. Whoever gets this will be on a match point. Kiazi, last second carry just to keep the ball out of Marywood's hands, out of scoring potential. One last hit from Slap, but it's a little bit wide. No, it hits the ground first. The time narrowly saving the Hornets, and they'll be up on match point.
Okay. Everybody take a breather. That game was a roller coaster. Marywood starting off 2-0 and Shenandoah storming back in, I think, less than 3 minutes that they scored those 3 goals. Great stuff, and that last minute of play was crucial too. Sometimes the best defense is offense, and what did they do? They needed to prevent Marywood from scoring a goal and tying the game, forcing overtime. Well, how did they do it? They kept the ball right in front of Marywood the entire time. Did not let them have any offensive have any offensive presence until the last 10 seconds. So great execution there. The boys are fired up behind us, Molly.
I both enjoy this, as I know that it means they're in a good mood, but I'm also slightly concerned because I thought I just heard a rabid dog in the background, but I'm pretty sure that was just Mango.
She said, "Is that a human?" I think it was Kiazi.
Was it Kiazi?
Pretty sure.
It feels like, oh, yeah, there you go. It was either a Mango or a Kiazi noise. Sometimes it's hard to tell which one.
Sometimes, yeah. When they get fired up, when they start just making their noises, they all start to blend together.
Need.
But hey, team chemistry can come in many ways, and no matter how you see it, it's a great thing. These guys are fired up. They do not want to drop this series. We are into game number 6. Shenandoah with an opportunity to put this away with a win right here. Jacob going for another solo play. These have been working out. The last couple goals for Marywood have been similar to that, but Shenandoah not letting that one sneak by, and we will see what they get for it.
It's just something about the first 30 seconds of every game. I'm telling you, it has you on the edge of your seat. Even that awkward pinch smoke cloud starts the vision for a little bit, but every player on the Hornets, they're not going to take any risks. Marywood have had a first 45-second goal every single game so far, except for game number 3, but they want to be the ones to change that narrative and force Jacob again to go on a solo play. There's not a defender in the path if he can manage to drive it home, but no, it's Mango slipped through his blind spot to get it out of his hands.
Yeah, man, where did he come from? We had a great shot at that potential goal there, and Mango just sneaking onto our screen and stealing that one away. A gorgeous defensive play, a last-ditch effort from SU to stay on an equal playing field, and now a minute has passed and no goals have been scored. This is unique. Neither team has found themselves in this situation just yet.
And that makes it all the more intense, right? You know that you're still at an even score line, and you don't have that pressure of coming back, but that also means you're not going for these double or triple commits anymore. You're keeping this ball tempo a bit more manageable to avoid things like that. that, J Marsh, stellar save out of them. Mango was on a path to glory there. Now it's Jacob again, who's been kind of that star player. The reason that Marywood are back into this series in the first place has been the main one, causing trouble for Shenandoah on this defense.
Yeah, a lot of the pressure seemed to be on Slappa to start, but you're right. Jacob has stepped up in every way so far in these last couple games, and it's been fun to watch. This is clearly a very talented player and determined player, right? When Marywood was down and needed it most, Jacob has stepped up just about every single time. So we'll see if that can continue, right? That's a lot of pressure to put on one player, and at the end of the day, this is a team game. Shenandoah has found the same pattern that when they succeed, it's usually due to team play. That needs to be the formula to claw back in these games, and Marywood, I'm sure, will need a similar awakening soon.
Yeah, I think that's where difference is this is a team game for Shenandoah. I mean, Mango can get stellar setups like that, but it's all three players with ball contact, triple committing here. A risk, but one that will not have a terrible payback, as Kiazi had just enough boost to retreat towards the other half, and now we're already back towards Marywood's, and J Marsh wants to have a break from this defense. Kiazi isn't giving him the chance. Another bank up to Mango, and it's Slappa. Finally, the orange side can have a breather.
Yeah, great patience there from Marywood all across the board. All kinds of players making saves in their own right, but I mean, calculated aggression has sort of been the name of the game for SU in this game, right? Triple commits and saving enough boost to get back, whether deliberate or not, is an aggressive decision that paid off their way. And that's the kind of stuff that can really put a team down and out in a situation like this. If they're not expecting that level of commitment that we really haven't seen until now, that's going to be something to keep an eye out for. That's enough to catch a team off guard and put them down and out. But 90 seconds left on the clock and no goals have been scored. This has been an interesting game so far.
I mean, this is game 6. Marywood know that this is their chance at a podium finish. If you make one mistake here, that will be the end of your game.
There it is.
And it'll be Mango to force it. He knows the timing of this goal couldn't have been any better.
Wow, could not have been any better. You said it. Mango behind us once again, and really the whole team feeling themselves now. The energy is real. Look at the cameras. Again, this team is fired up. They want this podium finish. Third place on the line. Now Shenandoah with the lead, and Marywood with their season on the line. This is it. Down in game number 6, match point for SU. They need to find success in 60 seconds.
Marywood have put their eggs in the basket of Jacob, setting him up for success, as he's been the one to come alive, but he just hasn't been able to find that same mojo throughout games 5 and now 6. One goal separating these two teams, and it's nothing to ensure the outcome. This game can flip over in a flash. Marywood know it. They're pressing the pedal to the metal on this offense, trying to force an error from the Hornets.
40 seconds. Keep an eye on the clock. We're going to keep saying it every couple seconds because every second matters now more than ever for Marywood. 30 seconds now for them to try to find a play, but what was the answer last game in the last 60 seconds? Offense is the best defense. We find ourselves once again, Shenandoah with the ball on Marywood's side of the field. 20 seconds now remaining. Marywood unable to find any offensive threat just yet. Shenandoah now absolutely pedal to the metal, keeping the aggression non-stop. 10 seconds left. One goal separating these teams. Will Marywood find their way into overtime, or can Shenandoah maintain this lead? Zeros on the clock. The ball will hit the ground. Shenandoah walks away third place winners.
Ending their season on the best note possible. One last win for this set of players, and they know that they have deserved it. They have worked hard through a variation of players, a variation of rosters even, to get to this point, and they should be proud of what you've overcome, because at a point in this series, it looked grim. This team looked like they were upset, but looking at this guy's face now, he is feeling it. This team is proud of the success that they have had.
Yeah, conquering their demons Demons, right? Beating a team that beat them earlier this season and beating a narrative that they sort of built for themselves 2 weeks ago. We got a little nervous up here, and I'm sure the players did too, finding themselves up 2-0 and then dropping a game, dropping another one. That's a scary place to be, and I'm sure that all of the players felt the pressure of the world in those moments. But overcoming those demons, overcoming this team that had already beaten them this year to come out in 3rd place of this bracket is a great way to finish the season.
Yeah, the countless hours that this team puts in. Like, I'm pretty sure I see them practicing in here more than any other team.
Yeah.
And that is crazy to think about. Literally take no days off to another level. And not to mention, like, they're all friends outside of this. Like, if there's one team that probably is the closest knit, it's gotta be this one. And it's connections, it's teamwork, it's trust like this that can allow you to achieve strong finishes, even if it wasn't the grand finals for this team. Claiming a podium spot in a highly contested NECC division matchup is great.
Absolutely. Yeah, I could not be more proud of the guys behind us. I mean, they really, a lot of you guys did not get to experience it after that Montreal match. They truly were heartbroken after not making grand finals. They wanted it so badly, and falling just short, it was tough. And these players wanted it more than I think I've ever seen them want a title, and like we said, 3rd place, grand finals, doesn't matter. A very intense match, a long series as well. Weathering the storm, coming out on top. I could not be more proud of these guys.
No, we've highlighted the team. We've highlighted their accomplishments as a whole. But we gotta look at one guy right now for what he did in this series. Kiazi is our match MVP, and for very good reason. He's been a player that often he kind of falls into that supporting role, that kind of second act to Mango's main spotlight, and that's how the team has been curated in the past. But with some changes that have gone into place, Kiazi in particular has been focusing on his offensive presence and his kind of ability to appear out of nowhere. When he's confident, when he feels good about his own performance, exponentially increases the impact that he has on this series. I mean, look at that. 12 shots, almost half of those turning into goals.
Yeah, I really do want to emphasize that this is a textbook rebound from Kiazi.
Yes.
The team had a tough series against Montreal, but I think Kiazi bounced back the hardest, and he had to. That's what it was going to take for this team to find success in a big series like that. And Exhibit A, I mean, look no further. We just saw it as such an incredible showing there from Kiazi. I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of all of them. 3rd place champions.
Yeah, it feels good. And even for us, we're Shenandoah students. We feel pride in our team taking home that win today, but nowhere near the amount the entire roster surely does. Like, I can still hear them kind of talking behind us here. They're excited. They're chatting about it. Probably to get some Dr. Pepper or something after this,
some
too.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
That, too. Look at that. It is B-dubs tonight.
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna treat Mango, that Dr. Pepper demon behind us. That's been a interesting narrative of the season that I don't think I saw coming. was having Dr. Pepper and chicken wings be the incentive for this player to go out and do what he does. But hey, whatever it takes. I certainly
Food's a
don't
motivator,
judge.
man. What can you say? Good food too, but hey, whatever floats your boat. And for this team, if you're gonna get results like that, keep it up. You can have all the Dr. Pepper and chicken wings that you want after this one. But we also want to get food, and we want to go ahead and close us out for the entire rest of the Shenandoah University competitive esports season. And while this won't be the last broadcast on this channel, we will be hosting the Virginia High School State Championships here on Saturday, December 14th. So make sure again to drop a follow on the Shenandoah Esports channel and come back in, what is that, next Saturday?
Yeah, not this upcoming weekend, but the next.
There we go.
December
Next Saturday.
14th.
December 14th. I think I said that. I don't remember. But December 14th, be here, support the next generation of esports athletes. I know that we're going to have a full student-run production here, so everybody involved, much hard work going into today. That's going to close it out for the competitive season. I've been Molly Dens with Chris Clayton. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back on Saturday.
Go!